MeteoMark Weather Show. Let's get into some breaking weather coverage here. Severe weather outbreak possible across the southern and central plains. Let's get right into those problem areas here. I will note here we have some threats here, anything from flooding, wind, hail, and tornadoes. Now let's take that down basically through the list here of importance. Tornadoes Sunday. We're going to look at this system. It will be ejecting out of the desert southwest off the plateau, and it will be bringing a low pressure system that will be spinning up very quickly, and also a dry line associated with this system most likely. So we're going to be looking at a moderate risk of tornadoes. This is pretty high for tornado action. So basically from north central Texas up through Oklahoma, Kansas, especially central and eastern Kansas, and extending up towards portions of Nebraska, we could be getting in on the act here of some possible tornado action, especially on Sunday afternoon and evening. Now, if we take a look at the other threats here, flooding threat will be low. These storm systems, these mesoscales, will be moving very quickly across the central and southern plains. So I'm not looking at any training or any major problems with flooding, so that's on the low end. Hail will be a high threat, as will wind. So any damaging straight line winds and hailstones 3/4 of an inch in diameter or larger. So that's going to be a problem here across the central and the southern plain states. As you can see, there's those highlights basically from slight to moderate to heavy in the categories here. So let's get right into Monday's outlook. This is where things become a bit more problematic for flooding. The storm system starts to chug slower to the east. Training will occur, especially in the Mississippi River Valley, from Arkansas extending up towards portions of southern Illinois. These areas could be seeing a tremendous amount of training going on with these thunderstorm complexes, so flooding threat will become high at this point. Other categories like tornadoes the threat will still be there, but it's lower, slight, and for wind and hail, moderate risk category. So that's what I'm looking at here at MeteoMark for this major storm system that will occur. Now, what exactly is bringing the ingredients for this system to develop into such a very powerful system across the plain states that models are really picking up the vertical wind shear and the twist and turn in the atmosphere that will help to create these mesoscale complexes that develop on basically the eastern periphery of this storm? Well, here in the desert southwest, we got a good jet stream coming off the desert here and the Mexican plateau, and this system will basically occur and spin up on the east side of this area. So this really good jet stream here, and hence the surface maps for Sunday showing this system really winding up across the southern plains. That's where we'll get a lot of spin in the atmosphere, and you can see here the threat looks real across the central southern portion of the plain states. This is where we're going to be dealing with a tremendous amount of severe weather portions of this area, these highlighted areas. So look out for that. Most of the rest of the country, but Pacific Northwest, may be dealing with some light systems here, as well the Northeast, but we're not looking at anything major here. Most of this in the Northeast should be out of here by this point, so you should be able to enjoy your weekend. And here in the southeastern portion of the United States, not too bad. We head on into the surface maps Monday. The system starts to really bog down across the mid-Mississippi River Valley, and that's where we start to get the training of the showers and the thunderstorms across the area. And this system will basically become more of a flood threat, but still wind and hail and some isolated tornadoes possible. And you see here across the east, we're still in the dominance of high pressure here, and basically across the west, most of the areas should remain in high pressure. Let's take a look at those precipitation amounts really quickly here. Like I says, the bullseye of the heaviest precipitation will occur just east of where the most major severe weather happens, and that's because the system will begin to start to bog down on Monday and move a little bit slower. So those thunderstorms will tend to train over the same areas, resulting in many areas getting upwards of 4 to 6 inches locally. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to have a 5-day outlook for my hometown viewers from Binghamton to Scranton in the Susquehanna region of New York, and Northeast Pennsylvania. But don't forget to like me on Facebook at MeteoMark, subscribe to me on YouTube at MeteoMark.com. Here is that 5-day outlook from Binghamton to Scranton. Starting off basically through the weekend here, maybe some spritzels in the morning here on Saturday, but we're warming it up into the mid to upper 50s. Same for Sunday here, although just slightly tad cooler, but more sunshine. Heading on into Monday here, that's where we're going to see basically a good deal of sunshine before we get some light systems moving across the Great Lakes and a little bit unsettled, but temperatures remain temperate in the mid 50s. That's going to do it here at MeteoMark.